Hello students, this is video number 12, part 2, chapter number 7, sound. So let us continue with the next topic, that is natural, damped and forced vibration. So first of all, I will take the topic natural vibration. Students, as we know that the sound is produced by the vibrating objects. So each vibrating object has its natural frequency with which it vibrates in the absence of any external force on it. So that is called the natural or free vibration of that particular vibrating objects. Now, the frequency of vibration depends on the shape and size of the body. A body capable of vibrating has a constant natural frequency of its vibration, and its amplitude of vibration remain constant. Or in other words, you can say that the natural vibration of a body actually occur only in vacuum, because the presence of some resistance due to which the amplitude of vibration does not remain constant. What it continuously decreases. So the definition of natural vibration, which is also known as free vibration. Now the periodic vibration, of the vibrating body in the absence of resistance force. In the absence of resistance force on it are called natural vibration or free vibration. Now students, some of the important examples of natural vibration of the vibrating objects. First of all, I will take examples. First of all, I will take a case of simple pendulum. Now, if the bob of a simple pendulum is displaced from its mean position, it starts vibrating with its natural frequency. Now, the natural frequency of the simple pendulum in the absence of resistance force, that is equal to 1 by 2 pi under root G by L. So this is the frequency of the simple pendulum in the absence of resistance force, or in other words, you can say that in the vacuum. Now move to the next. Now the next is spring. suspended with load. This is the second example of it. Now, a load suspended from a spring when stretched or compressed. Once again, students, a load suspended from a spring when stretched or compressed and then released. It starts vibrating with its natural frequency, and the natural frequency of the compressed or stretched spring, that is equal to 1 by 2 pi under root k upon m. Now here m is the mass and k is the force constant. K is the force constant of a spring. Now it is more for a hard spring and less for a soft spring. In other words, you can say that the frequency will be different for the same load on different springs, and it will be different for different loads on the same spring. Now the third point is tuning fork. Now everybody knows what is tuning fork is. When that tuning fork is struck against a hard rubber pad. And for your kind information, tuning forks are made up of different frequencies. So different tuning forks produce sounds of different frequency. Students, just mind it, different tuning forks produce sounds of different frequency. Now I will take one of the case. When a tuning fork is struck against a hard rubber pad, it starts vibrating and it produces the sound of a single frequency. And if the sound is produced of a single frequency, it is also known as pure note. What it is known as? Pure note. So tuning fork. So here you have to remember that different tuning fork, I am just writing it TF. Tuning fork, different tuning forks produce sound, different sound of different frequencies, like 216 Hertz, 512 Hertz, like tuning fork of 216 Hertz, tuning fork of 512 Hertz, like this. Means these are the tuning fork which has frequency of 216 Hertz or 512, like 12 Hertz, like this. Now move to the fourth example, and it is an example of air column instruments. Air column instruments. Now what is air column? Air column means weight or pressure of the air. Once again students, air column means weight or pressure of the air in a certain space, that is known as air column. Now instruments like flute and organ pipes, or you can say organ pipes whose both ends are closed, and organ pipes with one end closed are come in the category of air column. Now the frequency produced, the frequency or natural frequency produced by the air column instrument is inversely proportional. Mind it, inversely proportional to the length of the air column of that instrument. Once again, frequency is inversely proportional to the length of the air column. Like in an organ pipe, like in organ pipe, open at both ends. Clear? Now different modes of vibration are produced by blowing the air differently, and they are of frequency in the ratio 1:2:3. This is organ pipe whose both ends are open. Now again, in organ pipe whose one end is closed, whose one end is closed. Now in this air column, the frequency of different modes are in the ratio 1:3:5. This is the natural frequency. Since we are just discussing the ideal case, means we are just ignoring the air friction. So in ideal case, where no resistance is there, no air resistance is there, so in organ pipe whose both ends are open, the natural frequency is 1:2:3, and whose one end is closed, the natural frequency is in the ratio 1:3:5. Now the fifth example, frequency of the string instruments. Natural frequency. Frequency of the string instrument. Frequency of the string instruments. String instruments like sitar, violin, sonometer, guitar, like this. These are called the string instruments. Now, when the string is stretched, in this case, when the string of these instruments are stretched, the frequency produced in a stretched strings depends. Frequency produced in the stretched string depends. The first factor is frequency is inversely proportional to the length of that string. Second factor is frequency is inversely proportional to the radius of the string or wire. Then the third one is frequency is directly proportional to the tension in the strings. More the tension, more will be the frequency. So the natural frequency of the stretched string, that is given by 1 by 2L root T by pi r square d. Now T is the tension, L is the length, and pi r square d is the mass. Now let us move to the next, that is like let these are the two ends and the string is stretched between its end. Once again, let these are the two ends and the string is stretched between these two ends. Now if this string will stretch from the middle means from the center, so when it is stretched from the center, it will forms one loop. It will forms one loop. When it is stretched from the middle, I am just writing here from the middle, or you can say that let the length of the string is L. So when it is stretched from the L by 2 middle, so it forms one loop only, means its frequency is 1. Frequency 1 loop means frequency 1, and this is also known as principal note. What it is known as? Principal note. Now when the same string is stretched from 1/4 of the length means 1/4 of means 125. Like let from here, let this is 1/4 of the L. You will find that two loop will form. So the frequency is 2f, and this is known as first subsidiary note. And when it is plugged from 1/6 matlab 1/6 of the length of the string, now what will happen? Now three loops will formed. Three loops will formed. So frequency is 3f, and this is known as second subsidiary note. Once again, students, a string, first of all, a string of a given length stretched between the two ends. And when it is made to vibrate by plucking, if the string is plucked from the middle, means half of the length of the string, it will produce one loop, means it will vibrate with one loop. And when one loop is formed, it means the frequency is 1. And when the frequency is 1, it is known as principal note. And when the same string is stretched from 1/4 the length of the string, you will find that the string will vibrate with 2 loop. When it vibrates with 2 loop, it means it has a 2 frequency. And if it has 2 frequency, it means first subsidiary. Now, when it is plucked 1/6 of the length, then it will forms 3 loop. 3 loop means frequency 3. And the loop with 3 frequency, it means it is known as second subsidiary note. Thus, the different modes of vibration in a stretched strings are of frequency in ratio 1:2:3. 1:2:3. And if L is the length of the string stretched between its ends, the wavelength of different modes are in the ratio. This is the frequency. This is the frequency, and whereas the wavelength will be is in the ratio 3:2:1. So these are all examples of natural vibration or free vibration in the absence of resistive force, or in other words, you can say that it is only happens in the vacuum. Now, nature of natural vibration. It is just like this. Nature of the natural vibration. This is the main position. This is the extreme in the upward direction, and again this is extreme in the downward direction. Negative signs mean in the opposite direction, and positive direction mean in the upward direction, forward direction, otherwise you can say. So this is a displacement time graph for the natural or free vibrations. Here in this direction you can take time. These are the time axis, and here you can take displacement. This is your displacement axis. So this is displacement time graph for the natural vibration. So it will be like this only. You see that the amplitude is same. Amplitude is same only. So it occurs only in vacuum. Means once the vibration starts, it does not cease. means its amplitude and frequency that remains constant only. But as a matter of fact, if the surrounding medium offers resistance to the motion, so the energy of the vibrating body continuously decreases, due to which the amplitude of vibration gradually decreases. So that's all for the natural vibration. In the next video we will start with damped vibration.